All right, y'all. I saw this list was trending last week, I believe, and I thought it'd be something to talk about. The top 10 funniest comedians of all time. This was posted by Damian Scott. Um, Here is this list: George Carlin, Richard Pryor, Dave Chappelle, Robin Williams, Louis C.K., Jerry Seinfeld, Chris Rock, Amy Schumer, Kevin Hart, Jim Gaffigan? I think that's how you say his name. Gaffigan? Oh, oof, oof. Let's read the comments. Somebody said for me it's Jeff Dunham. Okay. Somebody said Kevin Hart, Schumer, and Gaffigan don't belong in the top 10 in my opinion. Okay. Somebody said Red Fox, Eddie Murphy. Absolutely. Uh, this guy responded back saying Eddie Murphy should be somewhere on this list, but forgot about Red Fox. Somebody said Dave Chappelle and Amy Schumer. That's ridiculous. Dave Chappelle, yes. Amy Schumer, and not for me. Chris Farley, George Lopez, Richard Pryor, Jim Carrey, just to name a few. This guy said the guy responded back saying Richard Pryor is number two. Okay, okay, okay. Um, I'm not mad at somebody else's opinion. You know, the thing about people nowadays is somebody can't have their own opinion without that person being slandered. It's okay to disagree with somebody. It's fine. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, especially with the art of comedy, because people have different preferences that makes them laugh. Now, my opinion, I think this list is absolutely ridiculous. Um, Only two, maybe three of the comedians on this list will make my list, but Richard Pryor is number one in my opinion. Chris Rock is in my top 10. Dave Chappelle can fit in my top 10. Um, but to have a top 10 funniest comedians of all time list and you don't have Eddie Murphy, that is blasphemous. That is absolutely blasphemous. Actually, that is very disrespectful. Because if I'm not mistaken, Raw is the highest grossing stand up comedy film in the history of stand up comedy. Kevin Hart couldn't pass it. Actually, let me make sure before I'm not correct. Hold on, Raw Eddie Murphy. Yeah, it is the highest grossing stand up comedy concert film ever released, making $50.5 million in the United States and Canada. Mm, mm. Not having Eddie Murphy on this list is blasphemous. That's crazy. I understand George Carlin, understand Dave Chappelle, understand Robin Williams. I understand Jerry Seinfeld. Again, Chris Rock is in my list. I can even understand Kevin Hart. Um, but here's my top 10. And this is not in order. The only number one and number two are in order. The number one and two greatest comedians of all time, in my opinion, for my list, is Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy. There's nothing else to talk about. They're number one and two. The rest of this list is not in order. Um, Cat Williams, D.L. Hughley, Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer, Robin Harris, Chris Rock, Bill Burr, Eddie Griffin. Now, uh, either Eddie Griffin or Bill Burr can be removed from my list. because Dave Chappelle should be on my list. The reason why I got Bill Burr on there, I've been listening to his stuff lately, and he is phenomenal. He is great. I mean, my gosh. And you know what? It's just, I love his I don't give a crap attitude. He says whatever's on his mind. Um, and he's just great to me. He's great. Um, I will probably remove Eddie Griffin and throw in Dave Chappelle. But for me, Chris Rock, Robin Harris, Cedric the Entertainer, Steve Harvey, Eddie Griffin, D.L. Hughley. Ke- Sorry, let me start over. Eddie Murphy and Rich Pryor, number two. They will never not be number one and two. I don't care who comes along. They're number one and two. Cat Williams, absolutely. Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer, Robin Harris, Chris Rock. Um, Hold on, do I have 10? Hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4. Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, Cat Williams, D.L. Hughley, Eddie Griffin, Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer, Robin Harris, Bill Burr, Chris Rock. Okay. But like I said, I will probably remove Eddie Griffin from my list and throw Dave Chappelle in there. But that's my list. But to have a top 10 list without Eddie Murphy is mind blowing to me. That is crazy. Um, I honestly can't believe it. um, yeah, I don't know what else to say about that. That's crazy. That's crazy. But y'all let me know, who are your top 10 favorite comedians of all time? Do you agree with that list? Do you like my list? Let me know. Top 10 greatest comedians of all time.